Hello, I'm Reverend Karen Davis of First Christian Church. I have with me here some water, and we're going to talk about those things that float and those things that sink. So I have this cute little duck. Do you think this is going to float or sink? Let's see. Look at that. Not only does it turn into a fabulous sponge, but it floats as well. Magic. Okay, well, now we're going to create some company for that duck. This spoon, will it float or sink? You're correct. It sinks. This week we are reflecting on Matthew's Gospel, chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. And there we find a story that's been the subject of many discussions and paintings and a lot of back and forth over what was really happening as Jesus was out on the water with his disciples. Did he walk on the water? Did Peter walk on the water? What exactly happened? Well, as we think about that which floats and that which sinks, we find in that story that as Jesus was approaching the disciples, regardless of how you might interpret that story, that as they were out in the boat during a time of a great storm, that they saw Jesus approaching them, Peter said, "If it's really you, Lord, let me walk out to you." Peter gets out of the boat, begins to walk towards Jesus, and as he looks around at the storm, quickly begins to sink and calls out for Jesus to help him. Well, we too find ourselves in the storms of life. And before you go out to your swimming pool or go to the beach and think that you're going to go walk on the water because you have enough faith that will let you do that, stop for a minute and think about the fact that God has given us wisdom, so let's use that. But we think about the most important part of this story is that it's to place our trust and hope in God to get us through difficult times. For Peter, he began to sink in the water, and we find ourselves sinking in life's storms and difficult situations when we take our eyes off of Christ, when we take our eyes off of that which is most important and that matters most, when we take our eyes off of doing what is right and just and fair, then we truly begin to sink and find ourselves in deep water. We are called upon to place our hope and trust in our most trying and difficult times in God's grace and God's goodness, and know that as we do that, that God will be with us to see us through those difficult times. Does it mean we won't get all wet? No. We probably will still get wet by those circumstances, and we will probably not go out of that looking all pretty and perfect, but we know that we will get through it and that God will be with us. So I invite you this day not to go out and try to walk on water, but instead go out and place your hope and trust in God. Know that as you keep your eyes focused on that goal of walking with Christ and serving God, that you will find that you can make your way through difficult circumstances and through life storms. May God continue to guide you and accompany you wherever life may take you.